Welcome to Townsfolk Tussle. We are back for round 2 of this run. We had a very, very close call last run. If you haven't seen the last fight, it was our first fight against Pepin Milkfrog, where we had a very, very close battle. You can check that out in the last video if you haven't watched it, but we're going to be moving on to the second town phase to start off the second round. Again, we had a very close call. Quintus Binch and Granny Melba both dying, but luckily Blopsy twins were in a good enough state to finish the job, as well as getting a healthy amount of things done, being the only ones to accomplish the feats of metal, which rewarded them with the milk-soaked limb, which isn't the greatest weapon for them. However, maybe we can find some way to work this with their other inventory. Unfortunately, Quintus Binch and Granny Melba did not get anything of theirs, but they did still, of course, get the 6 coins, because even if you are knocked out, you still get your 6 coins for beating the ruffian. So they still did their part. It was still a great fight, and yeah. Let us move on to the next town phase. But first of all, what we have to do is we have to discard any unwanted feats of metal that we have not accomplished yet. So we have completed these 2 for the Blopsy twins. And I think we are going to get rid of Doctor. Or I don't think Blopsy twins are probably not going to look to heal anybody. I mean, we could maybe keep it. We could potentially find a healing item, but I think I'm pretty happy with just wanting a better melee weapon for them and keeping the boasting bullhorn, because boasting bullhorn extra damage is really, really useful. And we can always keep the crystal ball for in a pinch. So I think we're going to get rid of Doctor for Quintus Binch. I think we're going to get rid of Bard, but we can keep Masochist and Peacekeeper because those are both something that reasonable to get. As for Granny Melba, I think Safety First is pretty easy to get, as well as, Strategist, we can only really get if we have a specific weapon or if we hit a specific critical hit reward. And Tough as Nails, I think if we're getting Tough as Nails, it's not like I really want this. Ideally, I want more than just Granny Melba to be alive, so I think we'll get rid of both of these as well. So we'll discard those, and then we'll draw our new ones. So you draw up to your max of 3 for the round. So Blopsy Twins gets a full hand of 3. So we got Cherished. If you're healed by another townsfolk or achieve this feat, take 2 plus damage in a single turn without being knocked out. And if you end the town phase with at least 5 max HP, achieve this feat. And this one's actually really great because we already have the Performer's Bow Tie. So unless this somehow gets robbed from us in the town event, we are actually guaranteed to get this right off the bat, which is pretty sweet. Quintus Binch will only be getting 1. You got Easy Living, and the town phase with the most coins cannot be a tie. It's going to be pretty difficult when he's already tied with Granny Melba, and Blopsy Twins has such a monopoly on coins right now. And then last but not least, you have Granny Melba drawing 2 up to her max of 3, which we got Nimble Trader selling 2 pieces of gear in a single town phase, which is not currently possible unless we want to get rid of everything pretty much, or buy something and, buy something and sell it right away and then sell another thing. Or Magician, have your townsfolk removed from the board without being knocked out, which is potentially possible depending on items and stuff like that. But overall, much better, I think. Easier feats of metal to achieve. All right, let's flip this over, and we of course have to shift the turn order around. So person at the top moves to the bottom, and it rotates. And then we resolve the town events, starting with the first in the buying order, which is Granny Melba. So Granny Melba has Muggin Duo. 2 stout fellows approach you, trying to take advantage of the chaos in the town. Hand over all your money, bub. If you have 1 or less items owned, these guys look tough. You can either lose 1 max HP or lose half your coins. However, because we have the Granny's Cane, the Rudy Tudor, and the Rickety Bow, we actually have 2 or more weapons. So these guys don't scare you. A flash of your weapons sends the muggers running. Keep this card in front of you. It counts as a 1-point feat of metal. Hey, look at that. Free point of metal. All right, so pretty good there. Nothing bad happening. We got Blopsy Twins next. So Blopsy Twins has a forced exchange. You notice the others have been eyeing your equipment. This does not sound good for Blopsy Twins. While taking a nap, they poke through your precious gear. At least they were nice enough to leave something behind. All other townsfolk may exchange 1 piece of their gear for 1 piece of your gear. Okay, well, this is sort of nice because it's a may. And because I'm playing by myself, I get to actually decide. So this is like sort of an interesting one if you're playing with other people. If you're playing with your friends who sort of like to screw you over for, just for the fun of it, they can give you something on one of theirs. So this is one of the rare moments where the in-game rules actually do allow you to trade gear. I don't think we're really going to want to be trading anything, though, to be honest. I sort of like everything that we have. I think what we could do is well, it actually has to be with Oh, no, it has to be with Blopsy Twins. Right. Well, actually, we could trade the milk-soaked limb with Quintus Binch, actually. That actually would be a really, really good trade. Because it would give him a much better weapon, and we can sell the hive on a stick. So yeah, let's actually do that. That's pretty sweet. And it doesn't have to be equipped, so may exchange one piece of gear of their... okay, for one piece of your gear. So yeah, we'll Blopsy Twins already have enough money, so we're gonna trade the rubber bat and take the milk-soaked limb, which we won't be able to unequip this, but we're going to be selling this anyways. And the Blopsy Twins can actually use this over the Traveler Shiv because it actually costs 1 Lux Moxie. That actually was a pretty good trade. Worth it. All right, so that was that. All right, so that could have been not a great town event, but that actually turned out to be a great town event. So then we have, last but not least, we have Quintus Binch. Ooh, okay, so this is a secret one. So I'm playing by myself, so actually this should have been taken out of the deck beforehand, so we'll just draw a new one. The secret cards, if you're playing with just one other person, or if just you're by yourself, you're of course not to be playing with those. Keep the receipts. You get the feeling the peddler has been ripping you off. Better keep the receipt just in case. Keep this card in front of you. The next time you sell an item to the peddler, you receive its full value. Whoa, so actually if we have a really, really good item that we see in the shop, I could actually sell this for 15 coins, which would bring us to 22 in total. And that would actually pretty much guarantee us with easy living. And we could, well, depending on what other people buy, might be able to buy something really, really good. But this weapon is just so good for someone like Quintus that I think we're obviously just going to keep it. But that's good to know. Oh, man, that was a great town phase. Great things for everyone. So that is going to be it. Now let's move on to the buying phase. So we're going to set up our gear, just like you know the drill by now. I'm just going to make a cut here. I'm going to buy everything, strategize all myself just to speed things up, and we'll be back in just a moment where I'll tell you all about what I bought and why. Alrighty, we are back, and I've done my purchasing phase, and here's what we got. So Granny Melba actually ended up buying the secret ingredient. So this is actually one of the secret items that you can unlock at the end of a run if you complete the special objective. You can see on the left side there, it says Secret Pepin. So this is one of the future items you unlock for future runs if you do the special objective and beat Pepin with it. My friends and I, a couple of my friends and I played this game off recording, obviously. We played a game earlier where we actually unlocked this. So I actually ended up drawing it, which is pretty sweet because I've never played with it before, and it's a really, really sweet item. It's just a free heal with also boosting all of your stats by 1 for the fight. So it's really, really great. And yeah, Granny didn't have much money, but that was very, very useful for her. Quintus, for his petty theft ability, where he was able to take an item worth 5 coins or less from the store. That he picked up this sharp cheddar, which is just a nice heal, extra accuracy, which is great for milk soaked limbed. It turns it into just hitting on a 1 or higher, but also just for when we don't have this for future runs and stuff like that, I wanted to go with Crown of Order, which just flat out gives us an extra accuracy. So we have a extra +1 accuracy for the whole fight. And when I did get it, I automatically completed Masochist because that's the special ability on this. You don't have a choice. You have to just achieve a feat, but you don't get a reward for its completion. So I just chose to get this, and it'll just go towards a completed feat of metal for the unique piece of gear at the end. For the Blopsy Twins ended up purchasing the Healer's Bonnet. It gives us an extra movement, but we can also spend 2 Moxie to heal someone, which also lowers our accuracy or Moxie by 1, which we're not going to be really trying to fight. We're going to be trying to stick beside people to boost their attacks with Boasting Bullhorn. Additionally, the extra movement really, really helps out since it allows us to use Mind Reader more often without hindering us too much on the movement side of things. So it worked out pretty well there. So yeah, that is a pretty solid buying phase. I think we're pretty well set up for the next fight. At the end of the town phase, like an ox gets rewarded. So we got, I think I'm just going to go with the +1 Moxie actually for this. Again, gives us a little bit more flexibility, especially when it comes to healing people. So yeah, that is that. So let us clear this off and see who our next fight is. Ugh, King and Queen, my least favorite. They like unequipping your stuff, and on the hooligan phase, they end up they end up lowering your stats each time they unequip something. And Quintus Binch actually doesn't have too many things to re-equip and unequip and get rid of, so he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. But we'll see how it goes. We shall see how it goes. All right, let's flip this over to the fight side and let's see if this works. Oh, perfect. It did work. All right, so let us see. So we have 3 townsfolk. It's 14 health and 6 movement. Let us give the old deck a shuffle. And the hooligan ability says whenever an action causes a townsfolk to unequip gear, that townsfolk lowers their movement, moxie, or accuracy by 1. Not very fun. So this is going to be a race pretty much, because the longer you stay in this fight, the worse off you are in letting their abilities go off. Luckily, we are a pretty heavy damaging setup, but again, we're going to have to be battling that quite heavily. I think our best bet is to try and pull king and queen up over here to possibly make use of the bear trap. Additionally, in a pinch, we can use the interactables over here. All right, so in terms of where we can set up, so yeah, let's try and set up everyone over on this side. I think we might try and get someone over up top, maybe Quintus, to potentially get another item that he can use during the fight, but we could also just end up setting up here on this side and just pull the king and queen to the right side of the board. So we want to make sure that Blopsy twins are sort of up front with Quintus, probably. I think we can have Granny being the furthest away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Blopsy twins are actually the furthest away, unless we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, no, regardless, Blopsy twins are the furthest away. So it might be actually better to, just in case it's a furthest attack, maybe swap Quintus and... Yeah, let's do this. So let's make... Hopefully it targets closest. We'll actually keep Granny the furthest away. And all of Quintus, because Quintus can actually also swap positions. So he's a little bit more flexible. Plus, thanks to Milksoaked Limb having 3 range, he actually still has a ranged weapon. And he starts with a better movement than Granny Melba does. So I think we'll do that. Alrighty, let us go for it. So, of course, king and queen go first. Gem slapped. All townsfolk within 3 squares. Luckily, that is no one. Blopsy is the closest, but they're 4 squares away. Deal 1 damage to all targets and move king and queen towards the farthest townsfolk, which is, we already know, is going to be Granny. And because, yeah, no one took damage, no after effects. So it's a pretty good start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's going to be Quintus Binch up first. So we can... Unfortunately, we can't... Actually, we could. So let's... Ooh, but I can't attack in the same turn. I was going to say I could swap positions with Granny to get beside Blopsy twins for the extra damage boost, but we can't do both. So let's just go 1, 2, and we're 3 spaces away so we can attack. We have +1 accuracy, so with a 4-up weapon, we're looking at a 3-up on the dice. That is a great start to the game. So we got a natural 10, so we get to roll another 10 on the critical hit table. Oh, that was almost a 1. And we actually got the 9 right off the bat. Holy moly. You send bits of the ruffian flying. Receive the ruffian's gear marked with a star on the rewards. You may equip it immediately. So, of course, we already do 2, which is going to trigger the breaking point. But first, we have to see what we get. So their star weapon is going to be the Queen's Bell, which sounds like an instrument. So, unfortunately, it's not going to be the greatest for Quintus. But plus, it's probably going to be a weapon, so I don't think we're going to be actually able to equip it. Yeah, it's a weapon. So it's a one-handed instrument. It's same stat line as Milksoaked Limb, except for 1 less damage and no range. Whenever any townsfolk whiffs, so it counts as a hit. So it totally negates the natural 1 in this and turns it into a hit. So that's a really, really strong weapon. I still like the high damage from Milksoaked Limb. Plus, we actually got the... special on this. On a critical hit with this weapon, Ruffian loses 1 movement, so they're down to 5 as well. It's a great item to sell, though. Great item to sell. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about the buying phase. I did use my town event to get the full price back from my weapon that I sold with Quintus, so I could end up buying the Crown of Warder. All right, so King and Queen get their breaking point action. It's going to be weakest townsfolk, so that is going to be a tie between Granny, Quintus. Now, weakest is the lowest health, right? Yeah, so it's going to be a tie between those two. So we'll roll off between Granny. Granny got a 9. Quintus gets a 5, so it's going to be Quintus. Move towards the target. If it reaches them, deal 1 damage. It does. After effect, loosens the strap of their gear. The target has their chest gear unequipped. Luckily, we have no chest gear, which also means we don't have to lower our accuracy, movement, or moxie by 1, which is great. All right, so that was Quintus's turn. Blopsy twins are next. So Blopsy twins, I think, are going to... We want to end up still by Granny for when Granny shoots. But it would be nice to heal Quintus as well. I don't think we really need to heal just yet, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to lower our movement by 1. And we're going to start off by checking out the top card of the deck. So it's going to be closest townsfolk, stockpile swipe, move towards them. If it reaches them, deal 1 damage. After effect, your spare wares slip from your pockets and into your King and Queen's hands. You discard 1 piece of stash gear, and if starting gear was discarded, they get another turn. Ooh, that is really, really bad. Because we only have stashed gear, or we only have starting gear. Other than that, Quintus will be targeted, and then we get rid of the Queen spell, which is really, really sucks if that happens. And it does not look like there's a way to move Quintus out of the way. Shoot, that's really, really bad. I mean, we got it for free anyway, so it's not the end of the world, so I guess it's better than a starting card getting discarded and then them taking another action. I could also pop Crystal Ball if we wanted to and just discard it, and it does play the next one in the deck, though. I guess the question is, do we want to risk something else, or do we want just to get rid of the Queen's Bell? It's a really good weapon. But unless Quintus gets more moxie, we're not going to be able to use this in another one-hander, which would be ideal anyways, so it's not the worst thing in the world. I think we'll just let it happen. I'd rather just know what's going on than not. In which case, how much movement? We have 6 movement left. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's go 5. I know we're totally going away from the plan that I had earlier, but let's go 5. Actually, do I want to heal? I think I might want to heal, actually. Yeah, let's go 5. We're gonna spend 2 moxie to activate Healer's Bonnet, so we're gonna heal Quintus back to full health. And we're going to lower our moxie by 1. And we had 6 movement, so we have 1 movement left. Well, actually, we're not considered closest, so I'll just stay there. Because then we'll be adjacent for Quintus's attack. All right, Granny's turn next. So we have we're 1, 2, 3 spaces away. We have 4 range, so I can actually go 1 space further back to make use of our Farsighted ability. And we're going to hold off on Secret Ingredient until we can actually use it for the heal. So we're going to attack. We have a +4 because we're 4 spaces away, thanks to our Farsighted ability. So it's going to be a +2 accuracy, which turns our 5+ to hit on the Rickety Bow into a 3+ to hit. Oh, that's a 2. That's going to be a miss. Wow, that is really, really unfortunate. All right, well, it's going to be King and Queen's turn. We already know what happens. Quintus takes a damage and also has to discard the Queen's Bell, unfortunately. Very, very unfortunate. Yeah, it's a forced action. All right, well, that is going to be King and Queen's turn. It's going to be Quintus's turn next. Well, we are going to use our sharp cheddar and make use of the heal. So we're going to get our health back and get +2 accuracy for the rest of our fight, which is good because that also gives us some breathing room for when we have to unequip something and lower our accuracy. Because we at +2 accuracy, we're already hitting on anything but a 1. We are going to attack from here. And we're going to be staying beside Blopsy Twins to make use of their Boasting Bullhorn to get +1 damage potentially. So again, we are hitting on anything but a 1. That was almost another crit. So that's going to be a hit. So it's 2 damage, but +1 for the Boasting Bullhorn, so 3 damage. Massive hits. And then we are going to... I think we are going to move. Let's go... where do we want to move? We could move just straight far away. Try and get to the mushrooms or something. Because the mushrooms, we could get +3 movement and +1 moxie at the cost of losing 2 accuracy, which doesn't really affect us too much, but it would make us a lot more effective in terms of maneuvering. I think we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and move there. And again, I think, yeah, we do want to try to work our way towards over here a bit. All right, it's going to be the Blopsy Twins next. The Blopsy Twins are going to go 1, 2... we're going to go 2 here, and we're going to spend 1 moxie to attack. We have -1 accuracy, so our rubber bat turns from a 5 up to a 6 or higher. That is a 3. It's going to be a miss, unfortunately, so we're just going to continue on our way. We only move 2, so we're going to 3, 4, and we're going to go 5. We actually have 6 movement, so let us go 6. Oh gosh, there's no place for this. There we go. That'll do. All right, so it's going to be Granny Melba's turn. Do we want to do Mind Reader? Nah. We'll just wait until it's like critical. All right, Granny Melba's going to move 1 space over to be adjacent to the Blopsy Twins for that damage bonus from Boasting Bullhorn. If I can get my models in the right place. We're 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away, so that gives us the +4 accuracy for Farsighted. So same thing as before, we're hitting on a 3 or higher. Oh, we are rolling hot today. So that's a critical hit. Again, rolling on the critical hit table. Oh no, that is a natural 1. Okay, well, regardless, everything the critical hit happens simultaneously to the damage. So we do the 2 + 1 damage, the 3 damage. Unfortunately, getting a 1 on here, your turn immediately ends after the attack and the Ruffian takes an action. So the Ruffian, unfortunately, is going to get 3 turns in a row because we have the critical hit failure action. The turn ends and then the the breaking point action happens after this resolves. The critical hit resolves. And then the king and queen get their normal turn. So someone might die here. Quintus might die here if things go really, really badly. Oh man, it really, really sucks. I wish that we had like an item that re-rolls something. All right, all townsfolk within 4 squares. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. That is going to be everybody. They have to roll and add their accuracy. So we're going to go from right to left. Granny Melba has -2 accuracy. It's going to be a failure. They get run over and get smacked for 1 damage, and then now I still don't know if this card means they actually move on the board and run over and smack you for 1 damage. I don't see how it wouldn't mean that, because I feel like the game board wise, it would specifically say move king and queen to the target or whatever. I think just thematically they get smacked. So it's 1 damage. Okay, and for Quintus luckily has +3 accuracy. That's a 6 + 3 is 9, so they manage to stay awake, so no damage there. And Blopsy Twins have a -1 accuracy. So that's 6 - 1 is 5, so they also take a damage, unfortunately. and then move towards the furthest townsfolk, which is going to be 1, 2, 3. So we have to move here, and then 4. Yeah, actually, yeah. God, Blopsy Twins' model is so awkward. All right, so they essentially would end there. And then reshuffle the action deck. Oof, that was brutal. That was super brutal. All right, well, that was Granny's turn. Now we have to do the breaking point action turn. So the breaking point action, weakest townsfolk, that's going to be a Granny, already right beside. Move towards them, deals 1 damage. After effect, the target has their chest gear unequipped. Luckily, no chest gear, so don't have to lower accuracy, moxie, or movement by 1 either. All right, so that's not the worst thing in the world. And then unfortunately, now it's King and Queen's real turn. All townsfolk within 3 squares. That's everyone. So Granny goes down to 1. Quintus takes a damage. Blopsy Twins. Well, actually, no. Here's what we'll do. I'm going to use Crystal Ball so we can discard that action and play the next one in the deck instead. This one might be worse, but taking 3 damage and also having Blopsy Twins and Granny get rid of their stuff and lower their stats, that's uber bad. I'd rather have one person take a lot more damage. So we're going to get rid of Crystal Ball. We're going to activate that. So we're going to just discard that and play the next card in the action deck. Okay, all townsfolk within 4 squares. They all must unequip their headgear, then move towards the farthest townsfolk. Okay, so not the worst thing. Quintus loses 1 accuracy, but he's already at +3 anyway, so we still are pretty decent there. Blopsy Twins lose their helmet, so they lose 1 movement. Again, not the worst thing in the world. And Granny doesn't have any head accessories. And we're already up equal in terms of distance, so furthest townsfolk away doesn't matter. For our hooligan, we do have to lower our movement, moxie, or accuracy by 1. I think because we're already going to be playing pretty close from here on out, and ruffians getting low, I think we're going to lower Quintus's movement by 1, and we're going to lower Blopsy Twins' movement by 1 as well. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to get a movement back by re-equipping our healer's bonnet anyways. Okay, so that was a flurry of attacks by King and Queen thanks to a breaking point, a failure on the crit, and the real turn. So that was... I'm very surprised nothing worse happened. Granny Melba was in a real rough spot for a sec there. All right, so now it's Quintus's turn. So Quintus is going to... we don't really need the Crown of Order right now. And I'd rather just get the damage through. So I think we're going to go 1, 2. And we're going to be adjacent by the Blopsy Twins. And we have 3 range on our weapon, so we can still attack. And we are hitting on a 2 or higher. So anything but a 1, thanks to our +2 accuracy. That is a 4, so that's going to be a hit. Because we are adjacent to the Blopsy Twins, we get the Boasting Bullhorn boost in damage. So we have a +1, which makes this a 3 damage. 1, 2, 3, ending Quintus's turn and triggering the breaking point action here. Closest townsfolk, that's going to be a tie between Granny and Blopsy Twins. So Blopsy Twins roll a 9. Oh, Granny rolls a 6. Granny's getting low on health. Move towards the townsfolk. Then if there are 3 or more townsfolk, trigger the after effect. There is, and they're already right up against Granny. Swinging wildly, draw the next card from the action deck. All targets in that action immediately take 1 damage, then that action is played. Granny might die here, unfortunately. Ooh, all townsfolk within 2 squares. That is everyone. So they immediately take 1 damage. Yeah, Granny's gonna die here. And then all townsfolk within 2 squares. All targets take 1 damage from a stray fist, and that's everyone. So everyone takes another damage. And that unfortunately kills Granny. Then move towards the farthest townsfolk, which is Quintus. So it's going to push Blopsy Twins into the forest there. and your gear has come loose. Unequip 2 pieces of gear amongst all targets divided as the targets choose. This is real bad. Divided as the targets choose. I mean, so it could be... I could do 2 on the Blopsy twins, right? Or it implies that I think you have to do it from everyone, so I think we have to do 1 of each. So we'll unequip the rubber bat, and we have to unequip the milk-soaked limb, which also means we have to lower our accuracy, movement, or moxie by 1. Again, I don't think we're... Let's lower accuracy for Blopsy twins, because that doesn't really matter for them. And let's lower... I mean, we sort of need everything, but I guess if we're going to be re-equipping our Crown of Order potentially in the future, we can get that accuracy back, so let's lower our accuracy by 1. Oh, that was brutal. All right, that was just Quintus Binch's breaking point turn, so it's Blopsy Twins' turn now. We have 3 Moxie. Let's just re-equip our Healer's Bond to get that movement back. Unfortunately, we don't have enough Moxie to heal Quintus as well. We have 5 movement. Shoot. So let's just become the furthest and potentially bait King and Queen away. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we might have to try and work our way towards the dock hut to try and revive Granny. We do only need to get 3 more damage on the ruffian, so it's not impossible, but we're both at 2 health and we can't outrun ruffian at this point. And Granny's unfortunately knocked out, so it's going to be King and Queen's turn. Closest townsfolk is Quintus. Quintus takes a damage. Deal 1 damage to all townsfolk within 3 squares of the target. Luckily, we did move Blopsy Twins away. All townsfolk that took damage from this action have a piece of their gear unequipped. And, well, I mean, Quintus doesn't have anything equipped, so we can't unequip anything. It is Quintus's turn. Quintus will use 2 Moxie to re-equip the milk-soaked limb and then spend his 4 movement to go... Shoot, I don't even know where to go. One, 2, 3, 4. Let's just try and get as far away as possible. And then hopefully buy some time for us to revive Granny with the dock set, maybe. Alright, that's going to be Quintus's turn. Blopsy Twins are up next, so we're going to go... how much movement do we have? We have 5 movement. We're going to go 1. We're going to spend 2 Moxie. Because we 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we can't get to the dock set anyways. So we're going to spend 2 Moxie to activate the bear trap and potentially set it up. That was a 1, so that's not going to happen. We're just going to continue on our way. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We actually do have 1 Moxie left. So, yeah, let us use the tool shed. Hopefully not get a 1 or a 2. And maybe we can equip a good item that can help us finish the job. That's a 6, so that is going to be enough. 6 or higher. You find something that might be of use. You receive the first one-handed weapon from the peddler deck. You can equip it immediately. Alright. That is a 2-handed weapon, chest gear, headgear, 2-hander, 1-handed flinging stones. That actually is pretty decent for us. We're not hitting very well with it, but at least it's something we can utilize. And it keeps us a little bit at range. All right, that is going to be that. It is going to be King and Queen's turn. 2 closest townsfolk. Well, that's both of them. Oh, this could actually be helpful. King and queen throw their giant cloak over the targets. When it is removed, the townsfolk find themselves attached to the hit. Reduce each target's movement by 1 and place them adjacent to one another. So that means I could actually send Quintus over here. And then keep this card in front of the townsfolk for the remainder of the fight. Whenever one of those townsfolk move, place the other townsfolk adjacent to them at the end of the turn. And play the next card in the action deck. All townsfolk within 4 squares, nothing happens, and then move towards the farthest townsfolk and reshuffle the action deck. So they have 5 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll reshuffle the action deck. We could end it here potentially. Potentially. All right, it is Quintus's turn. Yeah, Quintus is gonna go 1, 2. And be adjacent to the Blopsy twins. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are 4 spaces away. Oh no, we're 4 spaces away. We need to be 3. Shoot. So that was 1, 2. We can move 1 more. So we can be there. Let us attack with our milk-soaked limb. Come on, we gotta hit with this. We're looking for a 3 or higher. That is a natural 10. We could actually kill here. We could also get screwed over like last time. Roll on the critical hit table. That is a 5. So that's going to be lowering the damage, lowering the ruffian's movement by 1. But because we also critted on the milk-soaked limb, we actually lower it another time. So we lower the movement by 2. So it's 3 movement, and we do the 2 damage. So this also could cause us to potentially outrun the ruffian. So we ended our turn. So now Mantle Mayhem triggers. So we have to we have to move Blopsy adjacent to yeah, we have to end adjacent. So our throwing stones are 3 range. So we should start here. And then it is going to be Blopsy Twins' turn. So Blopsy Twins is going to try to get that final blow. We're hitting on... We have -2 accuracy, so we're hitting on an 8 or higher. Oh, it's going to be a 6. That's going to be a miss, unfortunately. So we're going to go... That was 1 Moxie. We have 2 Moxie left, so I am going to use my 4 movement. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh shoot, we need 1 movement to actually be at the door, because you have to actually be in the middle spot. Shoot, so I can't actually activate. However, this is not the worst thing in the world, because we're ending our turn. Mantle Mayhem will trigger, and Quintus actually can be put over here. And because the Ruffian only has 3 movement, unless something crazy happens with the cards, King and Queen can't reach us. So it's going to be King and Queen's turn now. All townsfolk within 3 squares can't happen, and then move towards the farthest townsfolk. 1, 2, 3. That's all they can move. And then, all right, it is our turn again. So, okay, so we're going to leave Blopsy Twin to actually do the Docks Hut if things go wrong. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, because you can go through your teammates, just you can't end on their space. We're going to be adjacent to, we're going to be far enough to attack, and we're gonna pray. We're gonna attack with the milk-soaked limb. We're looking for a 3 or higher. You gotta be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. All right, well, I mean, shoot. Well, man, that is real unfortunate. If only we had the Crown of Horn activated or on top of us, we would have killed him there. I have 1 movement left. I mean, doesn't really matter. I guess we'll just go here. We have to move Blopsy Twin over. Blopsy Twin Blopsy Twins' turn is next. We're going to try and finish it off with the Flinging Stones again. We're looking for an 8 or higher. That's a natural 1. Of course not. We have 2 Moxie left, so we're going to spend our movement to get in front of the Docks Hut and activate it. We need a 8 or higher. It's a 7. That's not going to do it either. And then we're going to end our turn, so Mantle Mayhem triggers again. Actually, no. We use 2 movement. Let's do 2 more movement so we can end our turn here. So Mantle Mayhem triggers to make sure that we can be as far away as possible. 2, 3, 4. So Ruffians don't have 4 movement, so we can guarantee we can't actually be moved up and hit on. But we want to still be close enough to attack. So that's going to be Blopsy Twins' turn. King and Queen's turn. Closest Townsfolk move towards, and then if there's 3 or more Townsfolk on the target or on the board, trigger the after effect. There isn't. There's only 2 of us still alive, so nothing happens. But they do move 1, 2, 3 towards us. All right. It is going to be Quintus's turn. We're doing the same thing. We are going to be praying and looking for that 3 or higher. You got to be kidding me. Another natural 1. I mean, I don't even know what to do. Quintus is pretty much guaranteed to die next turn unless King and Queen don't draw damage. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. End our turn. Mantle Mayhem will trigger. This is really upsetting because we might actually lose now because of that. They're getting too close. All right, it's Blopsy Twins' turn. Unless Blopsy can pull an 8 or higher out of their ass with a Flinging Stone. Nope, that's going to be a miss. We have 2 Moxie left. Let's go 1 over and knock on the Docks Hut again. That's a natural 1, of course. We have 3 movement left. That was just me dropping the dice. That wasn't actually a crit. So 1, 2, 3. Let's make sure that Quintus is far away enough with the Mantle Mayhem trigger. And it is King and Queen's turn. All towns within 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is going to be Blopsy. They have to roll. Add their accuracy, which is -2. That is going to be 1 damage to the Blopsy Twins. And then move towards the farthest townsfolk. And reshuffle the action deck. 1, 2, 3. Alright, it is Quintus's turn. Quintus is going to try again. We're going to see how unlucky we can get. Alright, that's a 6. That's going to be a hit. That is finally going to kill King and Queen. That was such a stupid last few turns, and boy, oh boy, did we get totally screwed by the dice there. We had a really, really strong start with so many crits, and then at the end there where it mattered, we got so many -1, or so many natural 1s, and misses on what should have been hits. Oof. Okay, well that was a crazy fight again. Very, very close fight. Series of events easily could have killed us there. Everyone was down to 1 health. Now Quintus did get the final blow on the ruffian, so we actually did achieve this, which is crazy. So we got 3 coins. Survivor, I don't think triggered. I could have been wrong. No one else healed Blopsy Twins. So Quintus actually gets a chance at another unique piece of gear from King and Queen. We already unfortunately had to discard the King and Queen, or the Queen's Bell. I don't believe that gets put back into play. So we pretty much only have the Royal Mantle and the sword. To potentially get the King's Claymore. We're probably just gonna end up selling because we can't even use it. So yeah, we got the King's Claymore, unfortunately, because we need 4 Moxie to actually use that. Royal Mantle would have been nice. It would have been just a free +1 health. It's a really strong weapon, 3 damage, but unfortunately, with 4 Moxie, it's going to be nigh impossible to use. And unfortunately, I already used my town event card to cash in for full price just to get the Crown of Order. So unfortunately, it does not work for us. But hey, we beat them. That is all that matters. So everyone gets 6 coins. That was a very, very close fight. Oop, that's not what I wanted. And yeah, that is going to be that. So that was fight number 2. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was definitely a nail biter, and I'm sure there were definitely other things I could have done. The crits and the stuff early on definitely helped, and getting the damage in with the milk-soaked limb and the rickety bow with the +1 boasting bullhorn damage proved to be really, really strong. We got them very, very low, very, very quickly. But again, that one turn as well, getting that where Granny failed on a crit to get them another action. That is real bad. So that's the one unfortunate thing, is you still have a 10% chance to just fail on a crit, which I personally don't really like. I think the critical hit should only be bonuses, but I can see why it's there. I mean, it's you need that sort of randomness to even things out, and of course to make these kinds of things exciting. Looking back at that one item that would have turned whiffs into hits, that would have been extremely useful here. So unfortunately, we did not buy that or get that. But yeah, that's gonna be fight number 2. Thank you so much for watching. We're still continuing this run as long as we're alive and going. We're gonna be continuing on to fight number 3 next video. I got an update from the pick and pack place for distribution. My physical copy should be shipping by the end of this week at the time of this recording. And so hopefully within the next week and a half, I'll have my physical copy and we can actually do some, full-blown content runs of this game. Like I mentioned before, I'll be doing an unboxing as well. I also did pick up another game called Rangers of the Shadow Deep, which is a really, really cool looking game from the developer who made Frostgrave, if you're familiar with that one. I personally haven't played that one, but it's a solo or cooperative war game, skirmish war game, which seems really, really awesome to me. So I'll be looking to potentially play some of that as well once I maybe paint up some models or make up some terrain. I don't know how I'm going to approach it. I might also just do it on Tabletop Simulator just because, again, it is easier to record and everything like that. And this, of course, sounds a lot better. And because I did as well, I did have a phone tripod on the way to record some physical gameplay with. But if you are following me on Twitter, which, if you're not already, definitely a link in the description to follow me there. I ended up getting the wrong item sent to me, so I had to send that. I got baby picture frames instead of my phone tripod. So they're reshipping me that one. So I'm sure it'll be here by the time the physical copy of Townsfolk Tussle gets here. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, night, or morning, or whenever you're watching this, and I will talk to you next time.